Welcome, everybody, to a very special COVID-19 check-in episode of Missing the Mark Radio. This week, we are joined again remotely through Google Duo, Steve-O and Shane, and my non-6 feet away friend, Chris. Hi.
Yeah, we're like 4.5.
Yeah, that's close
You're
enough.
practically roommates.
That's entirely true. Considering our families can't stay away from each other, we're pretty much the only... it's the only social contact we have. Let's just put it that way.
As long as we take the advice of the Prime Minister of Canada and avoid speaking moistly, we'll be all right.
How do you avoid speaking moistly?
Just sounds gross.
Yeah. He said it in a press conference. It was great.
Okay.
The memes are excellent.
It's just any way to get the word moist on TV, right?
Yeah, he did it, not me.
Yeah.
He figured out a way to do it.
Well, I mean, this is an unexpected episode. So at first, the whole idea was we were going to do a Tiger King episode. I think we're going to keep that for next episode and just keep this as a COVID-19 check-in because Steve wasn't able to actually make it. And then we get a text message about a minute before we record saying, hey, I'm actually available if you guys want to,
I'm in.
put me in the call.
Buzzer beater.
So anyway, I guess we'll keep this as a COVID-19 check-in, see how everybody's kind of doing with the quarantine, as it were. Are you both still going to work?
Yeah.
Work is pretty much as normal as possible, I guess you could say.
Okay. Steve, are you
Limited
still?
staffing makes every person busier, but other than that, it's normal.
Steve, are you still going to work every day?
Not every day. I am pretty much down to working 2 days a week. 2 days. They're paying us like we're working for 5 days. So I mean, they are taking care of us. Really, and I don't want to get too much into what I do, but it is, public facing. But it's really limited. Like you have to have a reason to be there to even get 2 feet in the door at this point. So it's very different. But man, except for the the whole danger aspect. Well, it's the easiest thing you'll ever do. We're doing nothing. We're getting paid to do nothing at this point, which is a lot of fun.
Do you guys have to wear
Except
masks?
We have they got a whole bunch of masks for us. I have a few. You can wear them. I'm sure we're going to have to wear them now. I think there's a mandate. I think the governor of New York State said we all have to have masks when we're out in public now in a couple of days. So, masks.
I think it's if you're out in public with no way to be within 6 feet.
Yeah, it's a lot of gray area. I'm just going to wear one mask now. Why not?
Yeah, the rules will be different tomorrow anyway.
That's true.
I've been wearing masks to video conferences just to be safe.
Whoa.
People are like, are those goggles? Yeah. What about it?
Don't spit in my eye, Karen.
Why's it got to be Karen? Oh, because Steve works in the public now. I get it. Okay.
It's always Karen.
All right. I mean, I get it, but so Steve, you're about 2 days a week. Shane, you're actually going to the office.
Going to the office, 40 hours a week, normal work week. Weird, I'm doing someone else's job though.
Are you masking up?
No, don't have to. We're only allowed one person per desk clump. So
Okay.
the closest person to me is 15 feet away.
Gotcha. And it looks like here in New York State, they just extended the all this until at least May 15th. I mean, let's be honest. There's probably that's not the cutoff date, right?
Yeah, they're just giving someone a
I
target.
need to go get a haircut.
Just shave it off, man.
I already trimmed the beard way too short, and my hair's getting a little crazy.
I was gonna mention something. So we're doing this on Google Duo, so I actually get to kind of see your face, except you're sitting in the car with a creepy light on, so you actually look like a real creep right now.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the cover picture for like a Netflix documentary about a killer is what it looks like. Like inside.
Yeah, I can turn all the lights on.
That's slightly better, but not much.
I can pull the mirror light down.
Did you shave your mustache off?
Not on purpose. The one on the Clippers is a lot shorter than I remember it being. So there's hair there. You just can't see it right now.
I mean, it looks ridiculous.
I know.
actually,
I'm well aware of how ridiculous I look right now.
I actually went to one on my my whole beard too, just to kind of give it a little trim.
Yeah, mine was getting a little bit out of hand, and this side grows way faster than this side, so it was lopsided.
I need you to take your hat off. All right.
Oh, that's going. It's getting way out of hand.
You're causing some weird feedback. You might want to put your hat back on. I don't know what that is.
Static from my hair, probably.
Chris, are you hearing that?
Oh yeah, I'm getting it.
It sounds creepy. It's like the background of those stupid
You know what
ghost
it is?
shows.
It's not you. It's not him. It's me. I have my baby monitors.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
that
right.
that is the background from the ghost hunting show is the baby monitor. That's what they use. I got my EMF detector here. It's just a FM radio.
That's fantastic. You know what, Shane? I think you should just shave it all off.
No, not going to do that.
Why not?
I could tell the exact day that I shaved my face. And it was May 21st, 2011.
Why is that imprinted in your brain?
Because May 22nd, 2011 is the first day that I had a job where I didn't have to shave every day.
Okay. Well, I
And
guess.
I've had a beard ever since.
All right.
You know what's crazy? I got married on May 28th or 29th of 2011. And the funny thing is, I can't remember which of those dates is accurate, but you remember the day you stopped shaving your face. So it just shows you priorities. 28th to 29th. I think 28th.
Don't worry, Steve. It'll pop up on Facebook. You'll be fine.
Yeah, some point.
Yeah, you'll get a reminder. Don't worry about it.
For sure. So, so Steve, you're going at it alone right now with the little one. How's that going?
Yeah, well, I'll give you. I mean, as long as you don't. My wife doesn't listen to this show, so she's not. I don't know if she wants this out there, but she's not going to hear it. So, Mrs. O is had to go to the hospital, which is crazy.
Not Rona.
For COVID.
Not Rona.
Not Rona. In fact, she got a test there, and we're confirmed no COVID. Well,
No.
Woohoo!
That's fantastic, man. No Rona in your house.
So yeah, but yeah, she had some gallstones and one got out, and so she's actually had to stay. It went from an emergency room visit to you're going to be here for a couple days. So it's crazy because no one can have visitors now, as you can imagine. So I pretty much have to drop her off. See you later, and I'll pick you up when this is over. So me and little one are by ourselves, and so I don't know if I'm trapped in here with her or she's trapped here with me, but we're just trying to figure it out right now. That's me and the little one.
You had a story a minute ago before we went on the air. Would you like to share that with us?
Oh yeah. So at first, for a while, I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good. Like I don't even know what people complain about, like watching kids. Like this is easy. Like we're just hanging out, and she slept last night all the way through, no problem. I'm like, I'm a real pro. This is going pretty well. So, she takes a shit here a little bit ago. No problem. I got this, right? Go to change her. And, what's cute with my daughter is the best way to get her not to roll when you're changing her is to give her a little book, and it kind of distracts her. It's kind of cute because it's like, how you like, it's like the baby version of like a reading while you're taking a shit. It's kind of adorable. And she just looked at the pictures, but I didn't give her it this time. Big mistake. She rolled and she literally kicked the diaper up in the air, and this is all happening slow-mo in my eyes.
It got airborne?
Yeah. So she does a flip, and the diaper goes in the air, and the fucking wasted. I'm sorry. That's the F word. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's necessary in this story.
I'll allow it.
That's loaf of shit goes flying in the air. And just narrowly misses me, and the little one hits the change table, smears everywhere. It's on the table, and the one goes behind it, just a loaf of shit right behind my change table. And I don't know what to do. This baby's gonna start rolling in her own shit in a second here. I can't just hand her off, so I'm just improvising. So I pick this kid up, and she's wired now. So I drop her on the floor, put just a diaper on her, so she doesn't pee on anything. Throw her in her crib, and she's moving around like one of Joe Exotic's mewling cubs just born, just going back and forth in the cage there. And I'm just like, how am I going to clean this shit up? I'm wiping everything down. I'm going back and forth and wiping her stuff down, wiping her down. And all the while, there's this baby turd just on my floor looking at me, staring at me, judging me. It's a terrible job I'm doing. And this was about not more than an hour or so ago. Got it done. And luckily she fell asleep not long after this ordeal. And here I am talking to you guys.
I mean, we're extremely glad that you're able to make it.
But you know what? Now, I'll tell you, stuff like that. I have a new appreciation for like single parents now. Like you don't think about it, but I keep thinking, well, my wife will be out of the hospital probably tomorrow, and I don't have to worry about this anymore. But people go through stuff like this, and they ain't got anybody. And wow, bravo, single parents! I give you all the credit in the world.
That's a lot.
What are the chances that there's somewhere in your house an undiscovered rogue turd right now?
No. I was you've heard of the Tomb Raider? I was the turd raider. I checked all around that room.
You got the blue light out, CSI?
Yeah, and
no, you don't want the blue light out.
So I went through and if I find I'll be very disappointed in myself if I find a rogue turd. I'd say chances are 98% no rogue turd.
That's good. That's impressive. Shane, can you do me a favor?
Maybe.
Can you do a little bit more of a close-up on your face, please?
Are you going to take a screenshot?
No, my phone is arm's length away, man. I can't get to it. Okay, all right. Just checking. Thank you.
What are we checking?
Well, based on the light in your vehicle, it almost looked like you shaved the middle part of your lower beard, and you looked like you had just like giant mutton chops.
No, there's a lot of hair there.
The Wolverine look.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Steve. Are you seeing that, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, I see his beard there. I mean, yeah. If you put your finger there, it looks like he's got a little Wolverine cut.
Yeah.
Did you take all that out?
Yeah, it looks like you took all that out and you just got chops.
Which would be dope.
You should go for it. See,
I mean, not that I'd be against it.
See, I can't do that, though. The whole reason I grew a beard in the first place is I've got a BB in my chin. So I didn't want to shave over it because it kind of hurts.
That's fair.
So it's gross if you take a magnet to it. You can, like, feel it pulling.
Can you hang a magnet from it?
What?
Can you hang a magnet from it?
Yeah, I think so. I only did that like once or twice because it was... No, I only did it like once or twice because it was the weirdest freaking feeling ever. It was like pulling on my skin. It was awful. Chris, you're working... are you working pretty much from home now?
I got some from home, some from work. Mostly home right now.
Yeah, you're like once a week or so in the office, right?
It's, as needed. We got things that got to happen. I got one of my employees like, would you be willing to phaser people in the forehead and figure out if they have a temperature? She's all over it. Like, oh yeah, just give me the gun.
So yeah, they're checking you on the way in now?
Yeah, health checks.
Every day?
Yep.
Wow. Shane, you got that going on in your office?
Nope.
They don't care about you.
We're all far enough apart. They told us, hey, even if you feel like you have a mild cough, do not come into work.
Steve, isn't that great though that you're? It's a good thing, but it's coming out of a bad situation. Isn't it good that your wife got tested for the Rona and you're clear now?
Yeah, I guess I have to assume, unless because I would have. She's been home, so I would have had to have passed it to her, right? So I guess I should be clear at this point. I mean, I still do go, but I feel definitely more confident in my place of employment. They're really locking people down there, so. So right now, all good, but I don't know about you guys. I'll ask even Shane, especially because you're going to work, more than I am. Like, you ever get nervous about picking it up? Because I'm like one of these, I don't know, I want to say hypochondriac or something like that. But if I think too much about coronavirus, I'm like, is that my throat that's closing up there? Is that cough? Is that just a cough?
I felt that way about like shortness of breath on occasion. I'm sitting there going, Do I got it? Do I got it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Like,
Still out of shape.
About it too much,
And then you realize you just ran up the stairs too
Ah,
quick.
dang it.
Well played, Chris. Well played. Steve, I was talking about, a second ago how, your wife got tested and that by proxy, you did. I made the same joke when my wife got pregnant the first time because I don't know if you guys remember this. When they get pregnant, they do like an STD test on the women just to make sure that there's baby's not catching anything on the way out.
Yep.
And I just made the joke. I was like, well, hey, thanks for taking the test for me because it pretty much guarantees I don't have anything.
I'm in the clear.
I'm good. I don't think she thought that was as funny as I did.
No, they never think any of the
At
jokes
that
are.
time, she definitely did not find that funny at all.
So the question is then, what was the reason for itching your balls so much then?
Sweat. I'm fat. Yeah.
But my wife got a pregnancy test too in this whole ordeal. Just I guess they have to.
Yep.
No baby. No.
Bravo! Congratulations.
Steve, you're a pull-out champ.
Nah, I don't want to brag, but
I mean,
I don't take any chances with it.
you don't want another kid?
Not right now.
I mean, we're getting older.
I know.
I mean, in reality, now's the time to start trying to have another kid.
Well, how many kids do you think are going to come out? Like, they talk about the baby boomers from the 60s. Like, how many kids are going to come out of this coronavirus thing?
I don't think many. I don't think
Really?
many at all. I think that is a misnomer. You got to think about it this way. The only people who would be having kids out of something like this are people who are, like, I would say, like, younger people might do it, but they're all separated probably because they're not. They might be with their families. Like, like young college
People-
students.
It's going to be
Like-
people who don't already have kids
Yeah. But
Oh, yeah.
also those
because they're
people-
not stuck inside with them all day.
Oh, you're going to
No,
see
no,
a
yeah,
spike
but
on the
that
graph.
I think so, too.
There's a statistically significant bump, like even after like a single night's worth of power outage. You lock people indoors for a month.
They got to have something to do.
But think about, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. There's a lot of economic uncertainty. Think about it. Like, if you, like, you might, after a power outage, not be thinking about it, but people got to be thinking, like, if I bring a kid in now, am I going to be able to feed this kid? So there might be some precautions there too. So I don't know if it'd be that much as people joke about.
Yeah.
I think a new episode of Teen Mom might come out of it.
There's going to be a
True
bump.
story. Yeah, Steve, I think you're overestimating the human race at this point. I don't think people think that far ahead, to be honest with you.
He's right though. Like, women do not want to have sex when they're scared.
Yeah, and also, I mean, this is a.
It's terrifying when you say it like that.
I didn't know how to react. Like, I felt like there was a joke in there somewhere. I just couldn't formulate it.
Ha! Rape!
I couldn't think of something fast enough or witty enough to come back, and I'm just looking at him going,
You're
all
probably
right.
better off not making that joke.
that's probably true. I was going to cause myself editing and, all sorts of... I had to do that once when I called you a name on the wrestling podcast, remember? Yeah. We won't hash that up again.
But
I thought it was
what
funny.
else I gotta say to you? But also, that, on a good little high level here, they say stress is not good for having a baby. If you're stressed out about stuff, you're not likely to conceive. So I don't think there'd be that much of a baby boom, if anything, out of this.
I think there's going to be a huge one, but I guess time will tell. What,
Yeah,
9
we can
months
have
from
a we can have a review episode in a year.
now? Yeah. Just pull up statistics about the increased amount of babies that have come out of this.
You say pull up statistics or pull out statistics? Huh?
Both.
Ah,
Hold on. Give the man a bell. Get it. There you go. Got it. Steve, I'm so glad you joined. I mean, this isn't the episode we had originally planned because I'm one episode in. So we're definitely going to do Tiger King next episode. Can we all agree on that?
I think there's going to be
Absolutely. I might get through it for a third time.
You've watched it twice?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Wow.
watch it again.
All right. I might have to. I mean, I got 2 weeks before the next episode comes out, right? Or,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, before our next episode comes out. I got to do it.
get your homework done.
Yeah, we actually had an adult night where we watched movies. I didn't want to call it an adult movie night because that indicates
They'll just
porn.
sit around watching porn like, well, that's interesting.
That'd be a little
I
weird.
was getting concerned, going, "You learned it from here, didn't you?"
Yeah. Well, I told Susanna about it the first time. It was like, yeah, Chris wants to do an adult movie night. She just looked at me like, really? I'm like, oh yeah, Chris and I are just gonna sit there and watch porn and jerk off right next to each other. I mean, it's yeah. And so, no, but we had what do we watch? What?
Was she into that idea?
No.
Yeah,
No.
that was just a weather balloon.
Yeah, she didn't enjoy that. She didn't find that as amusing as I did.
You want to reword it and make sure that the audience knows that didn't actually happen.
Right. Allegedly.
Totally didn't happen.
Allegedly. What happens in quarantine stays in quarantine, Shane.
That's right. So lonely.
We're both done having kids. It's fine. What was I going to say? Oh, we watched, what was it?
Apparently, that's how you prevent having kids. You just have porn parties.
That's, okay. I don't think that's how that works. Speaking of that.
Apparently, how it works for you.
Whatever. No, so we watched what? Knives Out? It's
Knives
called?
Out.
It's basically like a live-action Clue game.
Yep.
Have you guys seen that movie?
No.
I know. Isn't Captain America in it?
Yeah, he is. It was not on my radar at all, and a friend of mine recommended it, and I just went along with it, not expecting to enjoy myself, and that's quite good. If you like dark comedy.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, all of my comedy I enjoy is either dark or extremely vulgar.
Yep.
I mean, my favorite comedian's like Jim Norton, so if that says anything about me. Steve, what do you got?
Says a lot.
Steve's just staring at us.
I don't know.
All right. I was trying to figure out how we can make this go Facebook Live, but I couldn't figure it out from my phone because I don't think my phone can multitask like that. I can't wait to get you guys back in the studio.
Yeah, is it different now? Looks
Wait to
different.
be there.
Well,
It just sounds awkward.
I mean, the basement is framed. Chris helped me quite a bit with that. The problem is I need to get an electrician in here now, which clearly during this COVID-19 outbreak is not happening. So my basement renovation is kind of on a standstill. I was kind of hoping, you look at this like, all right, I'm going to spend a lot more time at home right now. I can get a lot of work done in here. And then I was like, yeah, no, I'm done.
You could learn how to be an electrician on YouTube.
I could. I don't think that's a great idea. We'll talk later.
I'm good for one minor shock per project. That's about my average.
See, I'm okay.
I mean, technically, everyone's good for one major shock.
That's right.
True. I'm really good at like I can change like light fixtures and things like that, but the idea of wiring something and having to tie it into the box scares the shit out of me.
That's fair.
That and plumbing, because you think water,
It's not
it's
that
just
bad.
yeah, but you think it's just water, but then a little bit of water can do a lot of bad things.
Yeah, I know. I replaced my own bathroom sink.
Yeah, how many hours does that take you?
Like 2.5.
It's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all. It will. Our bathroom sinks. We have a weird issue where all the piping in our house is one size bigger than it should be, because apparently that was code back in the 50s when that shit was installed.
Okay.
So our issue is kind of the reverse of most people's issues. We have to go from a smaller pipe to a bigger pipe, not a bigger pipe to a smaller one. So there's a lot of fixtures that we have to use backwards and not how they were intended to.
Okay.
But we made it work, and it's functional and looks nice.
Now everything's like what, that Pyrex stuff or whatever. Am I using the right word? No.
No, Pyrex is
PVC.
No, what's that red and blue tubes?
for PEX.
PAX. I knew it was a P, and there was an X on it.
You went with Pyrex, which
Yeah, a lot of
is
stuff like
glassware for cooking in the kitchen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
My wife would be proud of me at that point.
Yeah.
So,
It was a real thing. You didn't just make it up, so that was good.
yeah. So,
She'd be more proud if you actually knew what it was.
shut up. Hey, you know what though? It's yeah. Thank you. You got a bell for that one from Chris.
I like it.
I really wish I could figure out like a wide angle lens here so you guys can actually see Chris too. I mean, short of Chris and I just sitting next to each other, which is going to get awkward.
Which we
and
totally
weird.
didn't do earlier.
Right. While watching videos
Yes.
of an,
6 feet, guys.
of an adult
6 feet.
nature. It's out of shot range at that point, right? No? Silence? Shane just shakes his head.
No one wants to touch that one. It's also the
No
name
one
of the
wants to
video.
touch it because it's sticky.
Right. All right, now you just took it too far. See, I was insinuating things, and you just flat out said it.
Just take it to the next level.
Right. Why do you got to take it there?
I had to.
I guess that's still PG-13. Chris, do we need refills?
I'm getting there.
Maybe we'll actually pause this next time and maybe do that. What do you think?
Could do that here. Why don't you just go fill us up, and I will start whining about something because I got something to whine about.
Oh, what do you got to whine about? Hold on.
Oh, man.
I got to finish this first, though.
Yeah. Neighborhood watch.
I like stirring the pot. I want to troll our neighborhood watch Facebook group so bad, and Suzanne won't let me.
So this started
Why?
years ago.
I don't know. She think, who knows? Chris, go ahead.
Man, I have good feelings about my neighbors until I find out what they think, and then my good feelings go away.
I'm glad we still hang out.
And like a few years ago back, some people I worked with got me to use this app called Nextdoor, which is, I don't know, it's just like a social media for like streets and neighborhoods. And so like based on your area, you'll be grouped with people. And I had no idea how many people in my neighborhood were just feeding stray cats and distraught when they didn't come by one night. Just useless,
Yeah, I won't talk to
useless
those
stuff.
people anymore either.
Yeah. So like I know that they're, irrationally angered by 4th of July fireworks, and I know if there are foxes in the neighborhood or somebody heard a coyote, that's a popular one. But that's it. That's what all it's on these things. My Ring doorbell also tells me about foxes in people's backyards. There was a legitimate fire in my backyard this week. Like
Wow.
billowing smokes, and somebody in one neighborhood over called the fire department. Not a peep on any of these platforms. Not a single person mentioned the giant plume of smoke coming up from behind my house. Just nothing.
But those darn stray cats.
If I had thrown a stray cat on it, you better believe it would have been national news. Nothing. Not a thing. Turned out some
That's kind of upsetting.
some local kids got bored and decided to light a fire in a felled tree.
Well, I mean, who doesn't do that?
They're young, they're dumb, and they don't have anything to do right now to occupy their time.
Shane, what are you sipping on?
It's a Kool-Aid Jammer. It's the only thing I got to drink right now.
Yes.
So Chris and I are drinking. So I got in a little bit of trouble. Chris, I don't think you did.
Yeah.
Chris and I went to the liquor store together. And
Central
right,
Good
yeah.
idea.
And I got in trouble for spending like $72.
My boss thought they were going to shut down. Spent $250.
Chris spent quite a bit.
Yeah, I doubled easily what Jamie spent. But it's like it's Corona land. I'm like, I don't want to go back, so I just bought a case.
Yeah, I mean, your wife is gonna be super happy though.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like he's getting in trouble because his wife saw the expenditure come up on her phone while we were driving back, so he's getting it on his phone while we're coming back from the store. And like, it's funny, like you're jeopardizing your marriage with this purchase, and somehow I'm saving mine. I show up with this case, like, please don't leave.
She thought that was funny, by the way. And then we got the stimulus check, so we're like, all right, so what are we buying now? Shoes? What do we got? Yeah,
I didn't get my stuff.
More booze.
Yeah, I didn't get mine either.
I got mine 15th. Felt like a welfare check.
I got mine like Tuesday.
What the hell?
Sorry, guys.
I may not get nothing. I did some financial moves last year that may have blown me out of the tax bracket.
Oh,
I made myself look a lot richer than I really am for 1 year.
so you might have screwed yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it all again.
Yeah, I don't envy. I mean, I do envy.
It's just
that
like,
position.
oh, it's means tested. Well, I looked like a rich guy last year.
Well, it happens. So I guess the whole point of talking about the original thing is Chris and I are drinking Captain Morgan's new rum that they came out with, which is an orange vanilla mix.
This is the
I'm a
impulse buy
little
that
bit
got him in
jealous.
trouble.
It's pretty good. Like, I mean,
I'm
unfortunately,
a little jealous, and I'm in my car, so I could totally drive there right now.
unfortunately, I'm out of lemon lime soda, so we had to resort to Diet Cola. However, if you mix it with lemon,
To ice.
yeah, that too. But if you go with lemon lime soda with this thing, man, it's a creamsicle. It's
Oh my god!
right now. I'm basically drinking.
Save me some.
I'm looking at the bottle. There's not a lot left. Chris and I.
It'll be
I
gone
got time to
before.
make it to your house.
Yeah, you gotta come before the next episode if you want to have a shot.
Deal.
You want me social distance pour you a shot?
Yeah.
Leave it on the front step for you.
You're gonna no contact
I would
delivery.
totally do that.
We could totally do that. Hey, you know, one good thing has come out of all this. Food pickup is tremendous.
Oh yeah.
Food drop-off is tremendous too. Delivery for everything's almost free, and
We're doing
put on your front step.
we're doing like once a week takeout. We did garbage plates from a local place called Romig's. On, was it Saturday, Chris?
They're like $8, aren't they?
Yeah, $7.95, dude, every day until this thing ends. It was pretty delicious. My only complaint is they messed up. I'm not a mac salad guy. I go double potato.
I'm down with that.
I wanted what was I going to do, Chris? French fries and tater tots?
Yeah, you tried.
And then I got French fries and mac salad. I was kind of disappointed. However, I did for the first time in a while finish a plate, but that's probably only because I had half the
Took half the carbs out.
underlying and stuff. Yeah.
So, one of my favorite businesses I ever saw was in Pennsylvania, and it was just like a garage that you would drive through for beer. You'd drive your car into the place,
Yep.
stay in your car, tell them what you wanted, or order it off a list they give you, and then you just pop the trunk, or they
They still have those here.
yeah, and they fill up the bed of your pickup or whatever you got with whatever you want. And now like every takeout place is working like that. You just drive up, pop the trunk, they throw a pizza in, close the trunk, and off you go.
I on the last episode, did I tell the Domino story?
It sounds familiar.
I think I
don't
told
know if it
it.
was on air.
I think I told it. I won't do it again then. But yeah, I mean, the cool thing is now you can get alcohol to go too, though. What did we do? Chili's that one night and got margaritas to go. You and Susanna enjoyed some margaritas,
It only took the end of the world to get New York State to relax those laws.
right? I don't enjoy tequila though. You like tequila?
What?
Yeah, I don't like tequila at all.
Tequila is one of the only liquors that's keto friendly.
No, pretty much all clear is okay for the most part.
Most. I would say most.
Yeah, I mean, I typically drink like a clear rum anyway.
Yeah.
Not right now though. I'm gonna toast this one.
Oh, again, I can imagine that's amazing.
I kind of now that I'm on video, I kind of want to do the captain stance for you.
Okay.
I wish you wouldn't.
Steve, I know you're not a huge alcohol guy, but I think even you'd enjoy this, man.
Yeah, I have to be around a lot of people, so I guess I really can't partake until like 2021 now, I guess.
Well, listen, Steve, I want to commend you too. Can I do that right now?
Sure.
So I sent out was
great.
it yesterday, Steve? I sent out a text. So we what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the joke.
There's no joke to this.
No,
I'm actually commending Steve. So I sent out a text. So we're all still friends with our college roommates, right? Steve, long story short, Steve and I were a part of a college dorm of 4 guys. We ended up marrying 4 out of 6 girls in another suite. We're all still
Just the two of
friends. Yeah, we're all still friends to this day. So I thought it'd be fun during all this. I have access to a Zoom account, and I was going to do, hey, let's do a Zoom happy hour. So I text every one of us in our group. Steve is the only one that responded.
Can I say something?
Yeah, by all means.
Mind you, this is in the middle of, this is after either after I dropped Mrs. O off at the ER or as we were getting ready to go.
See, I can mention more now because now that I know that,
Yeah,
like I didn't know what was going on at the time, obviously.
Yeah, no, of course not. Who would blame you?
I mean, he was still turning you
but-
down, but
No, he
at least
said
you
sure.
answered.
He said
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's nothing. It's like this. It's just talking on a video chat, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So, I'm always, if anyone could deal with my social awkwardness in person or over the phone, by all means, you can have me. So.
I mean, if anyone
yeah,
can, it's this group of people.
Yeah, right. And you know what? Yeah, it's a weird group when I'm one of the most outgoing, friendly people in the whole group. It's bad. That's it.
You've also become a very bunch of a sweetheart though after the baby was born.
Yeah, I am. But actually, so here's a sweetheart alert right here. I got for you. It's gonna be a little sweet. I think really the reason I said sure, I mean, stuff like this where we're all cooped up in our homes, you have to appreciate the friendships you got. Because look at us all now. You can't take for granted like a 15-year friendship now.
Yeah.
Can you?
No.
No.
But I thought that would be pretty cool because we could even do it. I mean, we all have kids now for the most part, so we could all even just, if the kids wander in, who cares? We have a drink in our hand, we get on camera, we talk with our friends and have a little fun, and it's an hour of time where we can all get together and just talk during this. And you're the only one that came through, man.
Yeah, you know, I mean, even in my older, I was notoriously hard to get a hold of in my younger years.
I can attest to that.
But I've really tried to change that a lot now. I'm not great. I'm still kind of flaky. This is my nature. But you know, as you get older, man, you appreciate people more. You know, it's you only got one time through. You might as well enjoy the people you got around you. That's all I got to say.
I can't disagree with that at all. Like my friend group over the years as I get older shrinks, but I feel like it's better. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's not as vast and as broad, but then you connect with people, and it's a better version of a friendship, I guess.
Yeah. Big reason I'm back on this show. Just I hang out with you guys. That's the biggest thing.
We missed having you. I mean, I told you right off the bat when you left. I think the biggest disappointment I had was I felt like that was the most time I got to see you and hang out with you. Don't do that. I can
second that.
I flat out told you that, and I've told that to Shane in a separate text message too. Like you said, we've been friends since what, 2004, and I mean, really, as hectic as life is, I was guaranteed to hang out with Steve every 2 weeks, and that was my disappointment more when you left than not necessarily the show itself. Like, I mean, we do this because it's fun, and we enjoy doing it. But it was getting to hang out with your friends. I mean, I can't wait to get you guys back over here in the studio and actually doing this face-to-face at some point again. But, I mean, at least we get to do this, right?
Yeah.
So
this works for now, but can't wait to get back in the studio.
Yeah. I mean, it's a train wreck right now. Chris can attest.
Yeah, we got to build a studio.
I still can't figure out where to put one. I mean, what might happen, I think I might go buy a really cheap coffee table, put some holes in it, because when this basement's finished, we're going to have a sectional couch down here. We could just plop all the equipment right in the middle, have a little bit longer cables, and we hang out on the couch and just chill and do this.
We can get mic stands.
That's what I was thinking too. We get like actual big full-size mic stands that we just hang out and sit on the couch and
the Mission to Mark Radio Lounge.
That's right.
I still think the microphone should come down from the ceiling like at a boxing match.
I can't disagree with that. That's a great idea.
Because then you just coil them back up when we're done.
Yeah, but won't it like swing and hit you in the face though?
I mean, that'll be part of the fun. You'll be like, here's your mic, Jamie.
I just feel like it's gonna hit me in the face and just becomes a thing.
Well, you gotta hang on to the back of it.
I don't want to hang on to it. That's the point.
Well, you could just not swing it.
That's like putting a cat toy in front of a cat and saying, "Don't hit it." Like,
listen, you put this bell in front of me. I've been pretty well restrained.
You've been doing pretty well for so far.
Jamie's a notorious swinger, and not swinger in swapping wives, but a swinger of like keys and such. You know,
I got jealousy issues. I couldn't do that part of it.
You're a big key swinger though.
That's right. My thing
used. You got a strap. Use your hand. You're always swinging.
That's true. I used to.
You should do your badge of Verizon. I remember that.
I did it at the badge of Verizon when I worked at Circuit City back in the day. We used to have keys on those. What the hell are they called? You know what I'm talking about, right? Lanyard. Everybody used to have them, right? They're hanging out of your pocket, and you thought you were cool as shit. And anyway, so I was doing that at one point, and everybody's like, "Dude, you're gonna let go of these one of these days. You're gonna hit a customer." I did.
You did.
Oh, I totally did. And then one time I was swinging it so hard it came out of my hand. You remember those movie stand-up cardboard things that they used to plop like the new movies on? And I swung one so hard one time it came off my hand and it flew and it put a hole in one of those.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I know. And I still had a job. I guess it says a lot for a company that went under, but it is what it is.
Now we're going bankrupt anyway. Let them keep it.
But anyway, no, I am excited to get this basement finished up at some point. Chris and I have got to play with a lot of fun tools so far. I think from a design aspect, I mean, you guys can, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep the ceiling open and paint it.
I like it.
Kind of like they do in like bars and stuff like that.
It's a good idea.
We figure worst case scenario, if we hate it, we put a ceiling up, right?
I guess that would be a pretty good fallback.
At that point, it costs us paint. So, $50, $60 to realize if we hate it or not. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money.
No.
So I think
Now
for
when
the,
you're redoing the whole
The
base.
potential benefit of not having to do drywall over your head.
yeah, I definitely don't. I wasn't gonna do drywall to begin with. So my plan originally is I saw this really cool thing on Don't Judge Me Pinterest,
Judging.
whatever. You basically take 4x4 sheets of plywood and just affix that directly to the ceiling, and then all the seams you just take trim, and it's kind of like a grid almost, and just paint it however you want to paint it. Super cool. Plus, if you ever need to take it down to be able to get to something, it's easy to take down. You just pop the trim off and then pull the screws out.
Yeah, but if you're going to be painting wood, you might as well just paint the existing wood.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's still a ceiling at that point, though. I don't know. Well,
Whenever you guys talk about home improvement, my eyes just kind of gloss over. I just wait for something else to come up.
I'm willing to teach you, Steve. I'm willing to teach you.
I don't. Any home I ever move into, whatever it looks like is the way it's going to be.
This is all self-taught stuff. Yeah, I always make the joke, like, right? My dad was always a guy that called a guy. My dad's not a handy guy or anything like that. If he had a problem, he called a guy.
That's my brother.
When I first bought a house, I couldn't afford to call a guy. So I had to learn how to be that guy. So, I mean, Steve, you were at my old house where I finished the basement. I did that all myself. That was like a learning process. I figured, shit, it's a basement. If I screw up, who gives a crap? It's a basement, right? So now I'm kind of trying to do things the right way, and I think so far so good. It's turning out. I mean, it's all studs right now, but I think so far so good. But we still got to do floors in your house. How's that?
Yes.
Are we going to do that?
Well, not on the current schedule. I like everything else. New York is on pause, says our governor.
I have to assume
So's my floor.
Is your wife traveling? Is she going to go on that vacation still?
No, it's canceled.
Postponed. She was all about it too. She was like, "Screw it! If they're still flying, I'm flying." She's kind of retracted that.
That was me. Like she was actually looking to back out a lot earlier. I'm like,
Really?
I'm like, if they'll let you fly, just go.
Yeah. I was supposed to go to Vegas, man. I was super excited about that. I was going to go see Alex play and go check out his new restaurant, and I was super excited. My first trip to Vegas. I mean, it sucked. It sucked because I was going by my
jersey signed.
I was going to get your jersey. I'll get that signed this summer. It actually,
That works.
come to think of it, it's actually going to be easier for me to go get that signed this summer because I'll see him at the cottage than taking it all the way to Vegas and taking up space in my luggage.
You guys think this summer will be? I'm not saying back to normal, but at least some summits are normal. Or you think this?
Oh
is,
yeah.
I think it'll be close. I honestly, New York State just extended this till May 15th. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't think it's June or July before we end up back to normal.
Nah.
You think it's sooner
Even
than
that,
that?
it'll be, I think.
Yeah,
Something
I
different.
think you'll see reopening starting in May, and if not completely reopened in May, it'll be in June.
So I was listening to Opie's new
I think our
podcast this
state will be
week.
one of the last.
What's that?
I think our state will be one of the last. New York.
Oh, I
State will be one of the
completely
last.
agree with that. I was listening to Opie's podcast, and he had you guys know who Dr. Ian Smith is?
Vaguely.
The name sounds familiar.
He's like that weight loss guru guy. He comes out with a book every other month. No, Chris.
Nothing.
Anyway,
No.
so he was talking. And he's like, he said, he's like, this is gonna last longer than people think. Like, I don't see it ending anytime soon, which sucks. I mean, we have our annual mid-year. So we do 2 big meetings a year at work. We do a annual mid-year, which is local here in Rochester. We go to the Hyatt Regency, and we do a full day meeting, and then we do an awards dinner at somewhere nice. That's canceled. We're gonna do a virtual one now, which is the first time in company history. I hope it doesn't go longer because we do our annual kickoff meeting in Toronto every November, which that would suck if that got canceled. But it's, man, it's.
I'm almost more concerned of it being where this summer we can kind of. I'm not saying go back to normal, but at least have some relief from all the shutdown stuff. But I'm almost more worried in like the fall you might come back and go back to. I'm not saying square one, but have some more of this.
Oh, we got a surprise coming this winter for sure.
think so?
Oh yeah,
I think you had it.
I think so too.
Chris had a mysterious illness that we talked about on the show before. And did you have a lot of those symptoms? Like, you definitely had the
Yeah.
fever.
Oh yeah,
You had the cough.
had the respiratory distress. Yeah, I had all the hallmarks, but that was in January. But they've traced the earliest known case of this back to November, and they weren't testing for it. So like, oh yeah, this thing got out of hand in March. Like, nah, Nah, it was out of hand.
So you're convinced you had it?
I think so. They got tests to see if you got the antibodies for it. I'd like
Yeah.
to get one at some point just to see if I'm right. But I know quite a few people who had something that's very suspiciously like the symptoms of COVID-19, but before the big fear took over.
What's funny because we were spending time with you at that point too, and we didn't catch it. And do you think your wife got it? Because she had an illness
something.
after.
The kids didn't get anything, but again, some of the studies are showing now, like more than half the cases in like Iceland they tested positive for having had it, but had no symptoms. So we've got lots of asymptomatic carriers running around. Even the World Health Organization isn't like on top of that yet. They're just like, no, not really. Like, yeah, really. You guys got this. Like, I think the idea they understand this and they've got it under control and they have a handle on like how much is spread and where it is and how many people got it. No, they don't have a handle on this. They have no idea.
Isn't it the most terrifying thing in a way that this illness ranges the gamut of people who have had it, who will be asymptomatic the entire time, never have a symptom of it, to it just killing people within a week. Isn't that? I think that's almost the most terrifying thing. There's so much of a range here that it's just the craziest thing.
But that's the thing, though. Like you pick up viruses and infections all the time that your body fights off, and you don't necessarily know it's happening. It's just it's a fact of life. I think it's kind of
Just affects everybody differently. It's no different than the flu, right?
I think if anything, it's kind of freeing to think that like tons of people who got this thing never even knew they had it.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, I don't want to take this in a political way, but I think you lean more toward the liberal side, correct?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I'm more in the middle than I want to think, but yeah, I think comparatively, especially. Go for it.
I guess I have two questions for everybody, and Steve, I'll direct the first one at you. I find it super annoying that people are trying to politicize this, which is horrible, I think. On the side note, Steve, you wanted to challenge us on the whole "not my president" controversy that I said. How do you feel about the people that are calling the whole "not my president" but are more than willing to take this money?
Do
you find that hypocritical?
No, I don't, because look. There's not a person alive who's not going to take money thrown at him. If you direct deposit something in my account, I'm not taking it out. And here's I'll throw it back to you. I think I've done it before. You can say "not my president," but they take his money at the same time.
That's not his money. It's your money. They're just giving you back some of your money they took from you.
True.
It's like I'm never turning down any of my money that they're willing to return, ever.
Hear me out, though. Like the same people who are a lot of times all for the president are usually anti-socialism. Isn't distributing wealth like this is a hallmark of socialism? So you can go both ways with that.
I agree.
Look, we're all going to take money. I'm still of the opinion that people left or right, most people aren't as different as they think. People over politicize everything. It's like, calm down.
Well, it's polarizing. We're in such a polarized environment. It's nobody wants to play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah, but it's all a money making thing for people up top. Like the people who are so polarizing hang out half the time anyway.
How do you guys? I mean, I'll open this up to everybody, but how do you guys feel about the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are trying to politicize this pandemic?
Well, they got a lot of time on their hands. But
why does it have to be political? Like, it's not like
everything's political.
It's not like the Democrats or the
life is politics.
Why though?
Everything's political now.
I know you're big into politics, but why?
It's always been that way.
People want to be on a team. People want to be on a team.
Oh, completely agree. But how do you take a global pandemic that's affecting everybody and be like, shit, it's the Republicans' fault or it's the Democrats' fault? Or like, why?
Listen, there's people that root for the Jets. People are just wrong. They're on a team and they love it.
Or the Bengals, right, Steve?
Who they?
Yeah.
We get Joe
But yeah, people want to put on a jersey, man. That doesn't matter if it's for a team or for a political party. It gives them, it gives them a team. It gives them solidarity with somebody else, with a group, and they like that feeling.
People want to be on a team very badly, and also people have an inherent nature to want to blame somebody for something.
We all have the inherent nature that we want to be right.
Here's the thing, though.
Right.
I think,
I'm married. I know I'm always wrong.
As nasty as things have been,
we're all on the same page with you.
Nope, I'm always right.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
as nasty as things have been in the political
Is that
world.
my wife? I'm always right.
Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, leading up to this, like, obviously, the last election was pretty brutal, and the time after that even more so. But all of a sudden, I think everyone's been better to each other. I think everyone's been less divided and less angry.
But why does it take a global pandemic or something like a 9/11 type situation for everybody to kind of band together and be like, yeah, you know what, this shit isn't really that big of a deal. We
Right,
need to figure something out to be together.
That's because we all have so much more in common than we did a month ago. Like, I shared nothing with some other guy at Wegmans, until I walked into an empty toilet paper aisle and he's standing there with me, and like, yeah, man, that's kind of depressing. We have it's a bonding experience that we all have with each other, and there's times when this has happened in the country. The World War II, same deal. It's like we had an existential threat. Somebody attacked our country. All of a sudden, those differences between you and the person you don't know down the street are pretty small in comparison to that and like an invading army, that type of thing.
But again, why does it take something like this to bring that out of us?
Because the problems you have are the problems you have, and people's perspective is skewed by what their problem is. If their biggest problem is what to watch on Netflix tonight, yeah, they got time to pick a bone with you about politics.
I'll do you one better. I don't think it's necessarily bringing it out of people. I think that spirit is always there. I just think it's just we don't notice it until there's times like this. Maybe we got more time on our hands to see it, or maybe people have an opportunity to show it. But I'm even as much people want to blame each other or be on different teams. Come on, we're all the internet's very easy to blame people too because it's faceless. You get people in a room together, or someone's in trouble in front of you, you're gonna let that go.
Do you think that's why? Do you think that's more a testament to why the country is so polarized one way or another because of social media and things like that? Because of the anonymous submission or the anonymous posts or things like that. Where
there's two reasons: the anonymity of it all is going to make it so you can say things you wouldn't say or act the way you wouldn't want to act. And I'll give you a reason too. In the internet technology the way it is now, before there's less of a collective conscious of the country anymore. Before it used to be where everyone was watching the same thing on TV or doing the same things. Now, we can all like totally different music. We can all like totally different things, and we can all just kind of be in our bubbles.
Yeah, it's nice. Like if you're a lunatic about something, you can find the one other guy that shares your opinion. You guys can hang out.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's a good thing.
If you're sexually attracted to balloon animals, you can find people who are into that.
Darn right.
Is that a thing?
Without looking it up, I can guarantee you it's a thing.
Can
you imagine what your advertisement's going to be if you Google that?
Yeah, don't mess with my search history.
Balloon animal sex and go.
You better do it.
I agree with you, Steve. That I think the good is, like you said, it's always there. It takes something like this sometimes for it to come out and for you to see it. But at the same time, I think the darker side of it's always been there too. Like it's not like the internet tough guy is not a new thing. There was the telephone tough guy before that, and then like going all the way back in our country's history. Hamilton and Burr decided they were going to shoot each other over political disagreement. So it's like I don't think it's gotten any less intense or any more intense with time. I think it's the same. It's just different. It's a different way that we're seeing it, but it's the same. It's the same dark and light.
Do you think we notice it more because of as we grow older?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
we're gonna lose the O. I hear baby crying. I see.
There he goes.
And we're gonna lose Steve.
The other wonder of the internet, and I love it for this, is that every town used to have an idiot, and everybody knew who that guy was. Now, every town's idiot has a Twitter account, so you get access to all of them. It's not just that one dude. You get all the idiots from every town.
We also see them on our community watch group.
Yeah, we have more than one.
We have a lot.
Oh, baby's gonna make an appearance.
Where'd he go? We lost him. Let's just Shane, can you put your hat back on?
It was too warm, man.
I can't take your hair though.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
Can we shave it?
No.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello.
We have a special guest on the show.
Hey, Lily.
Yeah.
The Daddy Show.
Hi, Lily.
Lily, what do you think about quarantine? Does it bring out the good in people or the bad in people? Do you know what's going on?
She's getting to see a lot more mommy and daddy, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just hanging with Dad. I got my bottle. I'm good.
I keep saying it again, man. It's the lack of commute and the more time I'm getting to spend with my wife and kids is fantastic. So if any positive is coming out of this, it's for sure that. One thing I've really, really learned, and Chris, you can probably attest to this too, but my wife, and she'll never listen to this probably because she claims I tell her not to listen to the show, but just doing a tremendous job of really just keeping the kids entertained, homeschooling essentially, coming up with themes every week.
To ask, how is this school going?
You know what? Our oldest daughter's being really amazing about this, and Susanna's coming up with themes every week. This week is game week. The week before that was holiday week. We had a Thanksgiving dinner one night because that was the holiday. Week before that was it Raise Your Spirits week or something like that. So she's coming up with themes every week for the kids to kind of enjoy and really just make something out of it. And basically the morning is spent kind of doing that type of work and going through the theme and stuff like that. And then the afternoon's a little bit more relaxed at that point. But I mean, and not just, she's doing a great job with that. And, really I'm working from home. So being able to keep the kids occupied and let me do what I got to do is tremendous too. But I kind of give a shout out to everybody that's having to do this homeschool thing right now. I mean, it's got to be tough. I can't imagine doing that all day.
Yeah, I mean it's mandatory though. You got kids, they thrive, most of them, on structure, and they need it. And so you take away the structure of school, and if you don't replace that with some other structure, you're gonna have a bad time.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Shane, I know your wife takes care of not only your kids but some other kids too. I mean, probably going through the same thing, I would assume, right?
Kinda. She's actually at home now, just staying home with our kids. Her sister just had a baby not too long ago. I think 2.5 weeks.
Woo.
So now there's 3 kids there, and as soon as she returns back to work, she'll have 5. And then my son will be born in hopefully late June.
Yeah, you're coming up, man. It's coming quick, huh?
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, time flies.
Do you guys got a name picked out, or can you say it, or no?
Don't have one yet.
Okay. You got ideas?
Neither of my kids had a name until she was 9 months pregnant anyway, so
Really?
we were down to the wire.
Our first daughter was really easy to pick out a name. We struggled with our second daughter.
Didn't you do a Facebook poll on that one?
We did do a Facebook poll. I mean, we weren't really going to necessarily choose the name of our child based on the Facebook poll. However, we did end up choosing. Right? Yeah, we did end up choosing the one that won, coincidentally. But yeah, it was more of a toss up. It was going back and forth between Tegan and Reese. So she was almost Reese. We ended up going with Tegan because I wanted to try to incorporate my my mom, who passed away in 2017. I wanted to incorporate my mom's name somewhere, whether it was use her first name as a middle name or her middle name as a middle name. And actually, Tegan, it just worked out with Kathy. It worked out, Reese Kathy just didn't quite sound as good as Tegan Kathy did. So that's how we ended up with that.
For my little girl, we always wanted to give her pretty much the name she was given, but the debate was, do we want to just name her Lily, or do we want to name her Lillian and call her Lily? So the deciding factor was, well, if we got to yell at her at some point, we got to have put a little edge on that.
That is the practice. That's how you figure out the middle name too. You got to yell it a few times and figure out, when you use the middle name, is it really impactful?
And this kid, let me tell you, what we got from a year with her, she needs to be yelled at sometimes.
Oh,
she don't care.
The older she gets, people, though, she looks just like you.
Right?
I think she looks
Y'all
like
are twins.
I think she looks like Mrs. O's mom.
People say that, People say that she's a nice mix. I think we're blessed that way. But I'll tell you, man, I wanted you guys to talk about that homeschooling. I'm so glad during this time my kid is not at that age, because I wouldn't have the patience for that, and I don't trust my wife teaching my kids. So
I certainly don't have the patience for that. So more power to my wife and all the other moms that are out there doing that, and your wife, and it's you got to have a level of patience. And our wives take a nightly walk, and I completely understand why that's necessary to kind of get away from the kids and kind of have some quiet adult time, I guess.
one of those walks ever last so long you wonder if they were going to come back?
No, they're pretty good. What about an hour? They're usually gone
Yeah, they
for
get a good while.
hour and a half sometimes. So, but no, I completely understand why that's necessary. Like I'm home, but I'm working, man. I'm still putting in 40+ hours a week right now, and really nothing has changed for me other than I don't have a commute, which
That's super sweet. The 2-foot commute, I love it.
it's not even that. Like I think mine's like 12 steps. I think I Susanna's like, I keep saying that. She's like, did you actually count? I'm like, yeah, I totally did. Totally.
They walked it off.
Totally did. It's gonna suck having to get back up an hour earlier when I do have to go back to the office. But I mean, for now, I guess the biggest positive, and I like to kind of move and go place, things like that, is being able to spend more time with the wife and kids, and that's. You know, we're gonna look back on this. You know, Easter, right? So I screwed up. So I very much have to go by the Wegmans list when I go to the grocery store. We're gonna do something a little different for Easter since it was just us this year. I was gonna grill some ribs. Totally forgot to put it on the list. So because it wasn't on the list, I didn't purchase it. So we ended up
Me
with.
and you were the same.
So we ended up with make your own pizzas for Easter. I'm not gonna lie. As picky of an eater as I am, that was the greatest Easter dinner probably I've ever had. However, your wife felt bad for mine and brought her basically a doggy bag from your Easter.
Yeah.
She got some ham and some desserts.
There's some good desserts in there, yeah.
And she knew I wouldn't eat
ended
it
up
too because
I ended up cooking 2 Easter dinners.
2.
Yeah, because my boss's uncle died, so she was distraught over that, and I ended up being a really good person, and I ended up making an entire Easter dinner for her family.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then came home after delivering that and made my family a whole Easter dinner. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was quite the day.
Looked like
I cooked all day.
It looked like based on Facebook you had an outdoor dinner.
We did. We actually ended up eating outside. It ended up being nice out long enough for us to enjoy the meal outside. A little bit of a breeze, and right as we were finishing dinner up, it started trickling a little bit of rain, so we ran everything inside. So it ended up being pretty nice.
It's good timing. I'm actually so as the weather hopefully gets a little bit nicer. I mean, even if we are quarantined still at this point, my wife got me an early birthday present. I got a propane fire pit.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that. I like the idea of just be able to turn on. I mean, that's probably the reason why I don't do bonfires very often, because it's so much work. I mean, the fact that I can just turn it on, turn it off is pretty fantastic now.
I know some neighborhood
we
brats
could
I
do
can
a
hook you up with. You need a
podcast
fire.
around the fire pit.
What'd you say?
We could do a podcast around the fire pit.
We got the portable unit that we haven't used yet because the second we were about to use it, COVID-19 happened. So
If it's still nice, if it's nice enough out, I say that'd be our first podcast back.
That's probably not a terrible idea. We can sit around, maybe have a bonfire, maybe grill some food or something. We can do a little thing.
A couple adult beverages.
Little thing, yeah. We'll get Steve to drink. Girls can have a play date. All the kids can have a play date. The girls can hang out, and we can just do a little podcast on the deck or something.
I hope so. I hope the summer is fun and open. I really do. I don't want everything, but I just want a nice summer.
It's honestly, I think so many people are gonna do so many more things this summer because we've all been cooped up. Like it's.
I think you're right, Ian.
It's funny because you don't realize how. I guess you don't realize how much you miss doing things until you can't do them.
I think there's 2 types of people. People who are once restrictions start lifting, they're going to be out and doing everything they can do, and there's some who are going to just be scared to go back out.
I think there's going to be a lot of businesses that realize that the whole work from home thing's not a terrible idea. Meanwhile, my company's building a brand new $50 million headquarters.
Yeah. Here's the thing,
you're
though,
going back to work.
At our latitude, I think we're people who's gotten quite accustomed to not being able to go outside for long stretches. So yeah, you'll see some craziness probably when things open back up, but we're used to being stuck inside up here, man. It's normal.
I mean, the biggest decision is where we're going to do our one takeout meal this week. I haven't decided yet. I gotta think this one through.
Woo.
There's a-
Wild time.
I know there's a pizza place nearby. I'm like, so Chris was talking about garbage plates the one day, and like I instantly am like yearning for a garbage plate. So we ended up getting garbage plates on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I planted that worm in his brain and it chewed its way out.
Now I'm thinking like, oh man, I could really go for some good wings.
You guys going local for the most part?
Trying to. I mean, it to a degree, it's kind of hard where we live. We ended up getting we ended up getting like Chili's to go one day, which actually was really good. But then they had, I think the bigger idea is we were trying to narrow down a place that would do to go drinks too. Just because it's one of those things where it's like you're doing it because you can. Like how often do you get to go have like to go drinks?
How often do you be able to go get a gallon bag full of margaritas?
What's that?
How often are you able to go out and get a gallon bag full of margaritas?
Right.
Well, hopefully all the time, starting now.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I hope
So-
that's one of the things that sticks.
So I got to try to find a local establishment for this week's to go meal. But you know what? Honestly, I know we're kind of I honestly expected this to be like a half-hour episode, just kind of a check-in type thing, and now we're over an hour into this. Believe it or not. Hi, Lily. She's like trying to grab Daddy's phone. I wish I could be work.
Successful.
I wish I could be more like do more work on my basement. I'm just kind of at a standstill almost at this point. So
I mean, we could paint.
we could paint. We got to go to the Harbor Freight.
Yes.
Go get a painter. We're looking at Steve-O's ceiling.
Oh, it's
Oh, hi
man
Lily.
down.
Hi Lily.
Hey, say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
When this lifts, you got to come over and play with Titi.
Yeah. Your best friend, remember?
Just don't choke her this time.
Don't choke me either.
I think we're getting to the end here, guys. So anyway, honestly, this was a lot of fun. It was I'm glad Steve. I'm super glad you got to join actually, which is really cool. Next episode, let's do Tiger King. Chris, you can probably come back since you've already seen it as well. So I got one more episode I got to get through, and then I may watch it again because I can't explain in words and can't wait to discuss with you guys how insane this thing is.
Oh,
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
There's no way you caught all the crazy on the first watch.
No, I'm gonna have to watch again. Like
I think just a little teaser. One of my favorite things about the show, it's like one of the least crazy things about it, but just the scene of this guy driving down the road, singing his own country music songs, with a tiger in the front seat, like you would drive down with a dog,
it's true.
is just perfect.
I can relate to that
that's-
slightly in the fact that I listen back to our episodes, but I'm not like, I mean, I've literally laughed out loud, but I'm not repeating what I'm saying. So
He's the man.
So anyway, Tiger King next episode it will be that'll be 2 weeks from this launch, which will be Friday. So anything else you guys want to kind of hit before we exit this thing?
You say bye-bye, Lou?
Yeah, I think we did it.
I think we did it. So Missing the Mark Radio on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at @MissingTheMark_. You can also email us missingthemarkradio@gmail.com, and we will be back in 2 weeks with a Tiger King episode. Thank you, everybody who's listening, subscribing wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye now.